So I really want to say thank you to everybody tuning in. This is the first guest on my podcast. I've done several podcast episodes. They're on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast. The reason why I started it is because it had to do with not really having a lot of friends or valuable friends to talk to. And growing up in a small town, people sometimes you confide in the wrong person and they be talking a business for no reason.
That's true.
If you're ever curious about anything concerning that, aside from this episode, everything's always going to be linked in all the social pages I have. I did make a dedicated TikTok to this one too. I don't know the stats on how far you've grown your following, but to anybody who doesn't know, this is Russell Rodriguez. He timed the charts in a way, and what his mission is just getting bigger. And by the second, honestly, the more and more he talks about his trials and tribulations when it comes to relationships, giving Big Brother advice to a lot of people coming from a male's perspective, it really, really helps a lot of people. This is Russell Rodriguez. So, Russ, you can introduce yourself however you feel comfortable.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much, Monique, for having me. But yeah, I started TikTok on the random, and that's where I grew my following, my community. But I always did it for the right reason. I always had an end goal in mind, and that was to build a community to do something positive. It just so happened that relationships was what I resulted in talking about, and a lot of people related to it. But I'm kind of transitioning that to build a community to ultimately do something good, which is with my nonprofit. But I'm extremely blessed. I'm extremely grateful. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for the community that I built. It's an amazing community, and yeah, I'm just grateful. At the end of the day, all I could do is give all thanks to God.
I love that. I love that response. These questions are a bit of like super serious questions, kind of like a little uncensored questions. Oh, by the way, this whole thing, my podcast is uncensored. Like, I don't, just as long as nobody's like being mean to somebody or any negative shit.
I like it.
But like, I don't stand for any of that. And bullying, like, So what are 5 things about yourself that are your favorite? For example, they could be a favorite moral, talents, or characteristics you have.
I would say my work ethic, for one, and that's because I do have a lot going on as far as the TikTok, the Twitch, the nonprofit, and some people don't know that I have a whole business that I run as well. That's like my job. So my work ethic is something that I'm proud about. My ambition would be number 2. I'm always striving to do something more. There's not enough time in the day, but I make time just because I know that anything worth having is not going to come overnight. It's not going to come easy. So my ambition paired with my work ethic, it just goes hand in hand. I would say my determination as well. I do know that it takes hard work to get to where I want to get to, but I'm determined and confident in the fact that I'm going to get there. The word if is not my vocabulary anymore, and I'm proud about that. I would say me being personable as well is another one. So a lot of creators, especially in the online space, as soon as they get some sort of following, they forget to stay grounded. They forget to stay humble, and they don't really realize that without that community, you're nobody. I mean, on that platform in particular. So yeah, I'm personable. I like to. That's why I went with the whole Big Brother brand, because I want it to feel like I'm talking to these women, giving them relationship advice, whether they want to hear it or not, whether they like to hear it or not. I'm your big brother. I'm gonna tell you like it is. So I like to have that kind of personable approach. And then for the last one, I would say my confidence. And the reason why I say that is because it took years to build. I used to doubt myself in a lot of ways, but as my community knows, my mom always told me that everything that you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And now I just do things scared. If I'm scared to do it, I don't care. I'm gonna do it because I know the end result is gonna be me learning. Because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as losses, only lessons. So I built that confidence over time, and that's something that I'm proud about for sure.
Such a beautiful answer. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Every time you say the quote your mom has told you, it's almost staying stuck in my brain now. So
Yeah, my mom was wise.
Yeah, I can already tell with the little bit of stuff you talked about her, she seems like a very wise person. And it'd be cool to have a conversation with somebody like that.
Yeah, definitely. I talk to my mom all the time. My mom, she was always a mom first. I know I always say that she's my best friend, but she was always a mom first. So if I was tripping, she would put me in check. If I back in the day in high school, middle school, if I was treating a girl wrong or a woman wrong, I should say, she would tell me and she would put me in check. And me developing that relationship with my mom and having her as my best friend, as a son, it just does something different to you because it changes your whole perspective on women. Um, as far as respect goes, as far as holding them to a higher standard than a lot of these men out here do. I feel like women, I mean, they're just they're great. They're great people. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like they're great moms. They're strong women. If the man's not involved, they still hold it down. Like there's a lot of things that women don't get credit for, and my mom kind of opened my eyes to that for sure.
That's a big round of applause for Mama Russ. For real.
Shout out my mama.
Growing up, what was or is your favorite core memory with your family?
Man, that's a good question. I got a couple to touch on. One is when my family was whole, when it was me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. My brother was home at that time, and we would always go camping. And we didn't have money like that growing up, but my dad had a family friend that owned a campsite, so that was like a getaway that we could do for the free ski. And we didn't have money to go traveling as a family, to go on vacations as a family. We barely had money to have the fridge full of stuff to eat. So it's like a vacation to go camping and stuff as a family. That was a great core memory, especially just having my brother there. And it was just good because a lot of stuff wasn't good back home. So it was kind of like a getaway. And like during these camping trips, everyone was at peace. And as a kid, I just remembered being so happy and finally like my anxiety was gone. And I always just had a peace of mind as a kid because I knew there wasn't gonna be any drama or anything like that, like how it was back home. It was just gonna be all fun and a good time. So I would say the camping trips when I was growing up, it was one of my favorite core memories with my family for sure.
I love hearing that. That sounds like a how do I say it? Fresh breath there to say the least.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I wish there were times to be in that moment again. You know what I mean? Like just to feel that for a second. And it's just why
Hell yeah,
wasn't I
that
it's just why wasn't I paying attention back then, or why wasn't I could get deep into
I
that. Let's not do that.
no, I agree with that. I feel like I always say, if you live in the future, like if you live for the future too much, you're gonna get anxiety because you're worrying about the what ifs and what's gonna happen. If you're living in the past, that could result into some sort of depression because you're not living for the present. And as soon as you do decide to live for the present, you you really start to grasp on things that are happening now. Because I'll be damned if I ever look back to what's going on today and have the thought of, man, I wish I would have appreciated that more. I wish I would have been more present during that time. And I refuse to do that now. So each and every accomplishment that I have, or a good day, or a good hour within the day, I take time to take it all in and thank God for sure.
Really good way to go about things coming your way.
For sure.
Sometimes I struggle with that. But it's like just like last night how I said, can we take a moment? Because it just felt like everything was at a high, right?
Yeah.
And at those highs you have to bring it down and realize what's happening. That's why I said what I said.
Yeah, definitely. That in those moments, what helps me do exactly what you said, which when everything's at a high and it's all exciting and everything's going on, it's hard to take in that moment. So during those times, what helps me, I don't push anything on anybody, but what helps me is to just, as soon as I put my hands together and I thank God and I talk to God, it's like the world shuts off, and that high and that excitement and everything like that, it brings you back to being just humble, thankful, and to just accept the good things that are happening to you, because the universe works in mysterious ways, and karma is real. And if something's good happening to you, appreciate that, and don't take it for granted.
I'll just say this: a lot of people do take a lot of shit for granted, and it sucks to see like how good somebody has something, but they don't see it for themselves, and they do things to disrupt that. And then they wonder why their life is.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So aside from social media, you mentioned this in your lives, but we're just going to bring it here. What do you do for work, and what led you to take on the journey of this line of work?
Yeah, for sure. So before I even made my social media account, before I even thought about it, I was working at a property management company, and I was managing condos and HOAs, and like that was my job. But I always knew in the back of my head that I wanted to do something more with my life. Not to say there's anything wrong with the 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 is needed, and then you grind from 5 to 9 until that 5 to 9 replaces your 9 to 5. And that's a fact. So I was doing that, and I always had that in mind. So like, yeah, I'm a property manager now, but instead of studying the shoes of my peers and my coworkers that are at the same level as me, I'm looking at my boss, the person in charge, because I want to be like you one day. I don't want to. I'm already like them. I want to be like you. So I'm befriending the boss. Instead of on my downtime, instead of going to my coworker's office, I'm going to my boss's office. Hey man, what do you got going on today? Like, oh, how does that work? And I'm just picking his brain because I knew what the bigger picture was. I always had a niche for being creative. I feel like everyone has their own definition of success, and mine is, if I can be creative in my workspace, it no longer feels like work. Marketing was always that outlet for me, because I could take somebody's vision, like, hey man, we got this idea for this t-shirt, and we don't even know where to start, and you can kind of tell a story with that one t-shirt and brand it and advertise it and target audience and all this marketing mumbo jumbo. Like I love that. I love telling a story. So I seen that the property management company that I was working for at the time wasn't doing any marketing. So after studying the shoes of my boss for so long, I decided to call for a meeting, and I had this whole presentation planned out. And I'm like, look, week 1 through 3, we're doing this. Month 2, month 3, we're doing this. And I'm giving this whole marketing plan. And at the end of the meeting, and I came suited up and everything, I was all nervous. And at the end of the meeting, they all stood up and clapped. And they're like, congratulations, you're the marketing manager. I'm like, all right, say less. So now I'm learning on the job, because I lied on my resume and said that I had my marketing degree at that time. But it was just a way to get my foot in the door, and I finessed my way in the game. So now I'm learning on the job. So now when people ask me marketing questions, because it's on my resume, I can answer those confidently, because I have corporate experience when it comes to marketing. And then I took the chance on myself. I quit that job and I started my marketing business. And I would drive to a busy city, my laptop in my backpack, with my business cards in my back pocket, go into every single business that I could find on foot, park my car and just hop out, go shake hands and see faces and network. And it took 1 week to get my first client. That led to a referral, and it kind of snowballed from there. And then I ended up with a marketing business, and we just opened our second office. And then, and yeah, like I said, I always wanted more. So then I started the whole social media thing after a breakup, and it was just kind of like, I got nobody to talk to about this, and I always looked for ways to to express myself in creative ways. That's why I was into poetry and making music and all this stuff. And TikTok was just another outlet like that, creative outlet to talk about what I was going through, and people related to it, and now we're here.
That's pretty wild story, but that's really cool.
Little backstory about me.
And that's congrats on the second location, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What is the first song or album that had a deep emotional impact on you, and why?
Oh, good question. Life Goes On by Tupac Shakur, Life Goes On. And the reason why is because growing up, my older brother, during the early years of my childhood, he was more so like he would pick on me. Like I would try to hang out with him, but he wouldn't let me. Like he was too old. He was older. He was too cool, whatever. And he was, unfortunately going down the wrong path. And then around the time, this was about 1 or 2 years before he went away, he was putting me on Tupac Shakur. And this was around the time where he finally let me in as a little brother. Like, let's hang out. Yeah, you can come to my room. Yeah, we could play the video game. Here, check out this new song. And one of those songs was Life Goes On by Tupac. It just became like me and my brother's song. So now every time I hear that song, I remember like the times in his room when we're just playing like the PS2. So I would say Life Goes On by Tupac for sure.
That's a good song.
It's fire.
Yeah. So wait, you're the younger brother, aren't you?
Yeah, 5 years apart.
What is your nonprofit about? Why create a nonprofit, and what is the story?
All right, cool. My nonprofit is called the Concrete Rose Project. Now, my community knows all about this, but for those of y'all that don't know that are watching, when I was a kid in elementary school, I would write poetry. And I think it was like in an English class in elementary. I was super young. They were talking about like rhyme schemes and all this stuff. And English was just always my favorite subject. I don't know why, because I like telling stories with a pencil and paper. And we started talking about poetry for a little bit. And it was just something that I just grew an interest for. I don't know why. I was like 7 years old or something. So I would just spend my time in class writing poems to bring home to my mom to show her. And so, yeah, I fell in love with poetry. And around that time, my brother was putting me on Tupac. So my mom, as a gift, she took my love for Tupac. She took my love for poetry. She put both of them together, and she gifted me a book of Tupac Shakur's poems. And I would try to read it here and there, and I got a little bit older. I think I was 10 at the time, and I read the Rose That Grew from Concrete poem, and that always stood out to me. And I just always loved the metaphor that he used in that poem. And it was what it was. I moved on in life. But then even in middle school and high school, that poem was always, for some reason, it was just always in the back of my head. And fast forward, I started to get this idea of helping kids that were like me or going through the same situations that I was in. My dad didn't own a business that I could just work for when I graduated or got out of high school. My mom didn't have this thing set up for me to, I didn't come from money whatsoever. Nobody in my family, period, made it past the 10th grade in high school. So I was the first person to graduate high school. I was the first person to go to college, to ultimately end up getting a college degree, the first person to start a business. That was me becoming a rose from my concrete. So the concrete represents a poor environment, something it's set up for somebody to fail. And the rose represents, breaking through that and still growing up into something beautiful despite everything that's holding you back from your childhood. So I put together the idea of a nonprofit called the Concrete Rose Project to help the next generation of roses that are growing or trying to grow through this concrete. The idea behind it is just have this community that come into these children's lives and let them know it's okay to still dream big. All you should be worrying about is just being a kid right now. You shouldn't have to worry about hurrying it up and rushing to grow up so you can help mom put food on the table. If you have a dream to go out and do something, keep that dream. It's okay to dream big. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not. I was in my bag, low key. Welcome to hello. It's all good. It's all good. Things happen. But yeah, ultimately, it's just to help the next generation. Bring that magic back in kids' lives. And I remember on Christmas, sometimes when I was a child, my parents would be fighting on Christmas morning, and I'm sitting there like peeking around the wall, looking to see if Santa came. And I'm like, damn, he didn't come. Go back to my room. And I don't want that for any other kid in this world. I want that magic back. Like, Santa is coming to your house. And the Concrete Rose Project in this example is Santa. Like, I wanna step into these kids' lives and bring that magic back. You got nothing to worry about other than being a kid. And if you want to dream big, you can dream big. And we're gonna let you know the route you should take in order to get to where you want to get to. And you're not alone. I know mom and dad fight, or I know dad's not in the life, or I know mom has to work 3 jobs, whatever the case may be. But if we can step in and alleviate some of those trials and tribulations from the mom and relieve that tension at home, and then help little Jessica continue her dream because now she knows her mom's good, it'll just overall just help the next generation. And that's definitely my goal for sure.
This is why I wanted to do this with you. The passion you talk about when it comes to your mission, it hits home a lot. So I'm at a loss for words.
I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Russell podcast. Now, everybody, bear with Monique. I'm here for the sole purpose just because I want to help her accomplish what she wants to accomplish. And I was honored to be a part of this. And technical difficulties happen, especially when you're doing something live like this. This is her first time having a guest, so it happens.
What aspect of the nonprofit's mission do you find most rewarding?
I'm going to say the word smile, and this is what I mean by that. So the whole point of the Concrete Rose Project is to take a child that's going through a lot or has a poor environment, they're less fortunate, whatever the case may be, and ultimately getting them to believe in their future, to let go of everything that's going on at home, feeling that like I could breathe. And as soon as I see those children that we're referencing to just worrying about being a kid again and smiling, having fun, and believing in just having that magic as that's in us when we're kids, imagination, that ambition, that drive, and all this stuff, just to see the children just go from, yeah, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I think I'm gonna have to hurry up and help mom because she's having trouble and she's always complaining about the bills. I want to get them to, I want to be a singer when I grow up. Thank you so much to the Concrete Rose Project. My mom's doing good now, and I'm gonna go play with my friends, and we're gonna go write this song, and da 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 da. I want that. Yeah, I just want to have the kids just be kids, and keep that magic, and keep that imagination, and keep that ambition. As soon as that stress goes away, and they just smile, and you see the kid in them again. That's what I mean by the word smile. That's the most rewarding part of the project for sure.
You have a way with words. I'm gonna just say that real quick.
I had some practice.
I like how you kind of, when you talk about things, you get lost in your own words and your own thought process, and it's just like it works. No.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, any like entrepreneurs watching this can, and you, Monique, as an entrepreneur, anybody can understand where I'm coming from when it comes to, like, if you have a circle of friends that aren't doing anything with their life, not to say I do, but if you have people around you that are not doing anything with their life, if you talk about these ambitions that you have, or these goals that you have, you feel guilty, like you feel like you're bragging. but you're not. But if you talk to a like-minded individual or somebody that's genuinely interested in what you got going on, it's like, oh, I could finally talk about it. And this drive in me that's been like boxed in for so long and just in my head, I could finally talk to people about it because I got a community of people that actually care about what I have to talk about. And I just always been the type to where like I could have all these ideas in my head and they'll feel so confusing and they'll feel so cluttered. And if I could just talk to somebody about it, you don't even gotta like help me. All you gotta do is listen or just let me talk and just stay in there and I'll figure it out as I talk. And that's just how I've always been.
I feel that to the core so much.
For
But like I
sure.
talk out loud to make it make sense. At least I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go from there. We'll roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
But it is weird when it comes to talking about your own goals and dreams, aspirations to people who aren't on the same level as you. And like you said, it feels like you're bragging about it just to rub it in their face in a way, or at least that's what they make it feel like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I wanna see my people win. If I'm not doing that good in my career, but my best friend is like, bro, I just got a promotion. I don't care what I'm going through. I'm like, hell yeah, congrats. You got a
yeah.
promotion. Like, this is huge. Like, what's the next step for you? Blah, blah. Like, if you don't have people in your circle that want you to win and they genuinely get happy just to see you happy, you got the wrong people in your circle, definitely.
Yes, for sure. What? You kind of answered this in a way when you were talking, but I'll ask it this question. Do you think your long term vision for the nonprofit is influenced by deeper personal hopes for the future?
Hell yeah. I feel like referring back to Tupac, I was a fan of his music, yes, but I was more so a fan of just him as a person. I watch his interviews on YouTube. And in one interview in particular, and it always stuck out to me, he said, I might not be able to change the world, but I might be able to spark the mind that does. And I believe he sparks in me. And I'll be dumb to not use a community that I was blessed with to not then do something good that I've always wanted to do. And I've always had this in my heart to do. It's like as if God's saying, okay, you wanted to do this for so long. You're in it for the right reason. Here's that community, Russ. Go. Do it. And I'm doing it. And I'm blessed.
Doing it.
Yeah, trying.
Okay. Random side question. Do you still have that book that your mother gave you of the poems?
I do, yes.
Interesting.
I do. I'll never get rid of that. I'm sure you can look it up on Amazon too. You guys can get it yourself. Just look up Tupac poetry book or whatever. But I'll never get rid of that book.
Okay.
It was a pivotal point in my life.
So I'm just saying this because I remember, well, I have a love for poetry and you have a love for Tupac. And then this is when I got further into research about the poem about the concrete rose. So I was going to gift you another book just because I know you're supposed to be moving into your own space and I don't remember what happened with that. We're not going to get into that. But this was way before anything happened. And so I've been slowly adding to a care package, just so you know.
Hey, bless you. Thank you.
Because one, you said you wanted to get into reading, and for me, poetry was simpler to read.
For sure.
And poetry just it hit different when you actually read it and you relate to it on a different level. That's what made me want to get you that book.
Yeah, definitely. No, I genuinely appreciate it. I feel like poetry is a form of art, and just like any form of art, it's anybody can interpret it differently. And a poem might mean something to me that it doesn't mean to you. It might mean something totally different, but that's what I love about it. It speaks to people on a deeper level for sure.
Yes. What other art forms do you enjoy doing or listening to or watching?
Bros, the next steps in my nonprofit after it does take off is to travel. I want to hop on flights and positively affect families from other countries, other states, villages without clean water. Like I want to travel and help as many people around the world as I can. Stamp the Concrete Rose Project across the globe. Latino Mr. Beast. I'm not going to be like, all right, you want a brand new car? You need one? Well, last person to move their hand from the car wins the car. Pac passed me the torch. I love that. I love that. Troublesome. Da 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 da. Mel Oprah then? Shit. Oprah got money. I don't got Oprah money now. Alright. Do the cha-cha now. Boom, boom, boom. Zimbabwe and help out there. That'd be fire. Zimbabwe would be fire. But that's exactly the type of places I want to go. Yeah, more speak it into existence. Facts. Oprah's a bitch. Who the hell said? All hates Oprah. I don't know why. I can be myself on here, yeah. I do cuss a little, yeah. What's your favorite cuss word? Hey, fuck. Bitch, 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 bitch. Fuck you. That dude in the battle last night, I would have beat his ass. On my mama. On my hood. You're lucky we was on TikTok, cuz. We catch you on these streets. Bro called me a bitch twice. Yeah, because he was behind a screen in a different state. Say that to my face. Bet you won't. I boxed for 8 years. I'll piece that boy up. Like they leave in the bathroom alone and the parents let them cuss. Oh, I can say whatever. Okay. Fucking bitch. Okay, I'm done. He's lucky I was there. I have no filter. Yeah, I play my cool because I'm a grown man and I was a little boy. And I just know what comes with it. These little computer demons behind the screen. They feel like they could say whatever they want, but they ain't really cut like that.
You was acting up when I was not here.
Oh, you heard that all?
I seen it all.
Well,
yeah,
I'm embarrassed now. Did you hear me diss Oprah?
I heard that.
Fuck. Shit.
I heard it all.
Just cut that part. Cut that part.
Oh, hell no. Nope, it's staying in there just because you said that.
Let me get back into serious mode.
Super serial. The self-love journey and to find that. What advice would you give to someone who feels that loving themselves is selfish or indulgent?
Well, if a friend came to me and said that they felt like putting in the energy or the effort to love themselves is selfish of them, first thing I'm going to say is that you're flat out wrong. I feel like selfish has this bad rap when it comes to just the word and the definition in general. Like there's bad selfish and then there's good selfish. I feel like me as an individual, I'm important to me. My peace of mind is important to me. My happiness is important to me. I'm going to be selfish and protect that. And I was once in a relationship where she had like anger issues and she always wanted to argue and she was very emotional. And for the longest time, I stayed by her side and I was trying to help her. During my lunch break, instead of eating, I would be on the phone with therapists, like interviewing them, seeing if they'd be able to help her. And I'd find her one and she wouldn't go. After a year of helping somebody that wasn't really open to my help or helping themselves in any aspect, I realized that I was more so like a dad than a boyfriend. Like I was just looking after this person, and I made the positive selfish move to walk away. If you're in a situation where it's bringing you down as well, it's okay to be selfish. And I feel like self-love in general, be as selfish as you can. That's my advice. Be as selfish as you can when it comes to self-love. If you want to go do something and this person doesn't want to do it, but you want to go do it. If it'll make you feel good, if it make you feel happy, go do it. Be selfish, go. I say my advice when it comes to self-love is be as selfish as you possibly can. Facts.
Applause. That had to have taken a big toll on your mental health, though, right?
For the relationship?
Yes.
100%. Yeah, I felt like at the time, Now looking back, hindsight, I know that that wasn't the right person for me, but at the time I thought she was. So it just hurt because I'm like, you could be this person. Let's get you to be happy. Like, let me help you. Let me call these therapists and get you the help that you need. Let me take the yelling at me, and let me try to calm you down when you're getting heated and all that stuff. And for one, I'll never do that shit again. As soon as if you're not ready for a relationship, if you're not emotionally mature, if you're not just a mature person that got their shit together, you're not going to be with me. And I'm not going to be in your life because I'm not going to tolerate that, because I have for too long. It did take a mental toll at me at the time, but now I've grown into the person that I am today. And looking back, I feel like it was a learning lesson. And now I'm a better man than I ever was.
You wouldn't be here if it went the other way. That's a big. I would say thank you for saying that. I feel like you have an in to always want to help people, and I get that. But I think hearing from that story, you kind of neglected your own wellness.
Yeah, definitely. At that time, that's exactly what it was. I neglected my own peace of mind and was giving pieces of me to this person, taking them away from me, beating myself down, bringing myself down to build this other person up that was taking the pieces that I was giving them and kind of throwing them. Like, I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept that. I don't want to help myself. I don't want to help myself. So I picked those pieces back up, attached them back to your boy, and I ain't never breaking myself down for nobody again.
That's a really good mindset to have and keep, honestly, and hold no matter what. So be
Definitely.
proud of yourself for doing that. I'm
Definitely.
serious.
For sure.
What was I? What are some ways you create habits or practice self love that are most effective for building and maintaining a healthy relationship you have with yourself?
I force myself to do shit. So I have social anxiety. People, it might not come across that way because I'm on live and I seem like I'm lively and I'm talking and all that stuff. But when I first started live, you guys have the community, whoever was in there has no idea how nervous I was before I clicked the button go live. What if nobody shows up? What if I have nothing to talk? What am I even going to talk about? Like, why would these people care what I'm talking about? Who am I? Like, I was so nervous. And then as soon as I turned off the live, I was able to breathe. And so, with that being said, I would just say force yourself to do stuff. I have social anxiety, so I don't want to go anywhere by myself. I don't want to I don't want to go to the movies by myself. I don't want to go out to eat by myself. I don't want to go on vacation by myself. But I force myself to do these things. And once you force yourself to do these things, you're going to realize what you genuinely like to do and what you genuinely don't like to do. And after doing something so long, it's going to naturally turn into a habit, into a good habit. So I force myself to do things, to try new things. I'm going to travel by myself soon. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when I get there, but I'm just going to Google fun shit to do near me and I'm going to go do it. And I feel like as soon as I get back home, I'm going to be like, wow, I can't wait to do that again. Now I know that I like to travel. Now I know that I like to go to the movies by myself. Now I know that I like to try new food by myself. And now the next relationship that I get into, if they say they have something in common with me, it's genuinely in common because I took the time to figure out what I genuinely like to do and what I genuinely don't like to do from doing it by myself. So force yourself to do shit.
Amen to that. Amen to all of that. Everything. I would say it's one of the most crucial things if someone is ever lost in their life. Now, given there's everyone around them that kind of is a factor in all of that, especially if
Yeah.
someone has kids. I get it. I do. I don't have kids, but I get it. I get it. I get it. If there's a parent, which there's parents in here who are trying to do the damn thing themselves, are trying every day, but yet every day tests you. I am so proud of you for being here. Just saying that. And I'm so proud of the work you've yet to do and the work you've already done. Don't forget, like I always say this in the chats, don't forget to nourish your mind, body, and spirits, because internally everything will pour out externally, if that makes sense. Just wanted to say that. Have you ever ignored signs of burnout or stress because you didn't want to admit that the work overwhelmed you?
Yeah, I do that all the time. I feel like that's a flaw that I have. I feel like shout out my dog Lola.
Who's
I feel
Lola?
like or Nala. I got another dog in my life called Lola.
Interesting. Interesting. Look at the chat.
They're like, no, Nala.
Lola.
Lola was the previous dog I had in my life. So I
Oh.
always get them mixed up. But they're riding for Nala right now.
Oh, for sure. Let me find out.
What was the oh
Have you
yeah,
ever-
I do that all the time. So I feel like that's a flaw of mine because I feel like it's a good thing to take a mental health break. Mental health is important. I feel like it's important to take a step back, to come up with a schedule. And in that schedule, there's some time that you set apart to just sit on the couch, just chill out for a second. Like, and that'll refresh your brain and you'll be able to be more effective in the work that you do. But it's a flaw that I have that I'm currently working on. I'm not taking any days off as of now, but I want to force myself to take days off. Right now, I literally the second I wake up, I go to bed at like 2 a.m. I wake up at like 8 a.m., 7 to 8 a.m. And as soon as I open my eyes after I hop in the shower, I get to some sort of work. And then I get back in bed at 2 a.m. and I repeat. And this is 7 days a week. So it is, and I do ignore it, that it is taking like a toll because I have this goal that I'm so passionate about, but I do know that it'll help me in the long run if I do take breaks. So that's something that I'm currently working on for sure. Because I feel guilty right now if I do take a break. I literally feel guilty.
I feel that 100%, especially when it just comes to your creative endeavors. And it sucks because it's almost like you're hard on yourself too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And you want to be there for people, but at some point you got to be there for yourself.
Definitely. And I feel like I this community that has come together, they're so genuine. Like all these people in this community are so genuine and so loving and caring to the point where they're telling me to take a break. No, don't go live today. Take a break. You should. I was getting invited to go out on a live that I just started, and they're like, go out, go have fun. Like they push me to do things for myself. And so it's on me at the end of the day. But again, like shout out to the whole community because I feel like I just have this whole group of people that are just that genuinely care about me, and it's insane to think about, and I'm blessed to have it. Halloween party is crazy.
Friends want to go to this haunted house carnival. I'm hanging with like 50 people.
It's like, nah, you do you. I'm hanging out with 50 people. It's a fact.
But yes, burnout. The burnout is. This is why I was kind of worried when you said that you were gonna do the Twitch thing, and then you're doing the TikTok stuff on top of it, plus your other stuff, and it's just so. It's very important
That's
too.
just for sure. It's important to take a step back, definitely. But that's just how I always been my entire life. It's like as soon as I lay down at night, I'm thinking of more ideas and more plans and
but the ideas never stop. At least for me.
No, me neither.
And it's just like, damn, do I just stop?
Yeah. I wish.
Yeah, I don't know. Same. What's something you do in relationships that you've noticed but you don't think about consciously?
Well, I've only been in 2 serious relationships, and something that I do kind of like without noticing. I would say, and any entrepreneur can probably vouch for this, but it's like having your brain going at like 500 miles per hour at all times with all these ideas, and I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. Like, everybody works differently. Like, some people need to like live in their head for a little bit to figure out their plans, or some people need to seclude themselves to figure out these plans, or some people need to talk it out and talk these things through. While I was in my last relationship, she said I would shut down a lot. Like, one day I'd be super talkative and one day I wouldn't be talkative, and she would always ask me like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I told her, if something's wrong, I'll talk to you about it. But the days that I'm more in my head, just know that I'm figuring something out. The next business plan, whatever it is, like I'm figuring something out. And if anything, I just need your support. So I guess I shut down sometimes, but I feel like that's only in that relationship because it was a very negative, toxic relationship. And the other relationship I was in, I was pretty young in that relationship. So I haven't been in too many relationships to figure out like what I do, to be honest.
That's a really solid answer. And thank you for being honest. Is there something you've always wanted to do but keep putting off, even though you can't explain why?
Music. So before I started my marketing business, before I even thought of TikTok, before anything, who Russell was a musician. I was an artist. And I got to a point where, this was Twitter at the time, I got to a point where I think I had like 5,000 followers. Every song that I would post or any freestyle I'd post would get like 1,000 retweets. Like, I was doing the damn thing. And then I started to get hit up by people trying to book me for shows, like local shows. Like, this was my life at one point. I would go to other people's shows with my mixtapes in a backpack and pass them out. And like, it was my life. And as soon as I got to where like this might actually turn into something, I was kind of at that age to where I could either keep going with this or I could be taken serious as a businessman, because I know how social media works. And if I'm in these meetings and stuff, but my social media handles are like me rapping, I'm not going to be taken serious in those meetings. So I made a decision to get a big boy job and to start my life. But music notes and my old music group and everything, it's all tattooed on my body, and it's with me for life. And if I can do one thing again, it would be to make music, because I have such a strong passion for it, but I don't know why. Maybe these new doors are taking you back to that passion. I think they are. I think they are for sure. Oprah, you bitch. Does this show my name? Because all I did was click the link. Yeah, it does. Leave my picture. Oprah has joined the chat. Oh, shit. Oprah, I could use a new car. Intrusive thoughts, yeah. All right, everyone wants to know who Lola is, bruh. A new car, yeah. Okay. Before Nala was in my life, I had a dog named Lola, and it was a little white, like, poodle dog. And I don't like to talk about it. She got sick. So I hope all of you that are fucking saying fuck Lola and shit, y'all motherfuckers crazy as hell. That dog was cool as hell. Y'all like, fuck that bitch Lola. It's all about Nala gang, bitch. Jokes. But yeah, that's my old dog area, yeah. It happens. Technology messes up, but trust me, I know. I've been trying to set up this Twitch stream for a week. And it's like, as soon as I try to set something up, they're like, wait, you need this cord. And then I do that chord, and they're like, wait, but you need this chord to make that chord to work. And I'm just like, fuck, I can't win.
No, when you said you needed help with the whole sourcing the specific windows, that's the only part I don't like. Even the first time I did it, I was so confused. It made me mad. Like, and it takes a lot to get me mad. I was just mad.
Yeah, I think I got it figured out now, but we'll see how it goes.
No, I think what was it, yesterday? It looked fine. It looked fine.
For sure. I'm happy about that.
If you could change one thing about society, what would it be?
All right, this is a deep answer, so follow me. To be human again, and this is what I mean. When I'm walking down the street, and I'm walking this way, and this person's walking this way, and nobody says anything to each other, because this person has their own life going on. When I'm walking past somebody and they actually do say something to me, hey, how you doing? It almost like takes me back a little bit. Like, I'll respond and everything, but it takes me back a little bit because I'm not used to it. I feel like if we can get back to where everyone's just a human and they're just kind, and if you see somebody, hey, how you doing? How's your day? I hope you have a good day today. Hold the door open for people. If you see somebody broke down on the side of the road, you stop and help them. And this huge globe, this huge planet that we live on, which is just a speck when we talk about space and all that stuff. But that's another topic for another day. We're all we got here. So I know you got your own situation, your own family, your own life. You're doing this whole life game over here, and I'm doing it over here. But let's just be human. Like that human connection, I feel like is something that I would for sure change about society, because if people start to act human again and kind people are just kind, I feel like this whole, just as a whole, we would just move in the right direction in unison instead of dividing.
No, for real. It comes down to mannerisms.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so embarrassed by all this, by the way.
Monique, do me a favor and just breathe. This is your first ever guest on a podcast. Now you know what to work on before the next one, and we can hop on another one. I'm always going to be here for you to hop on a podcast for sure. We could do one, record it, put it on YouTube, whatever you want to do, put it on TikTok, and do the damn thing. But there ain't no such thing as being embarrassed from trying. It's a lesson. So
yeah,
I fuck up all the time. It's normal. You're learning, but everything's going smooth. Let's continue.
My thing is, I know people taking time out of their day, and I don't want to play on anybody's time or anybody's dime.
Shit, you a rapper too? That's dope.
I got a little something.
I don't think they're tripping. These people in the chat are great people. They're here for you.
Well, I appreciate you reaffirming the whole. I'm learning, and I have to remember that when it comes to new things.
Facts.
So I appreciate that. Okay.
You got Oprah in the chat. I personally love Oprah. I would never say anything bad about her.
This is the questions that people submitted through that link, and all of these are anonymous. Okay.
I'm gonna know who did it. Well, let's get it.
No, you're not. What's something that's been hard for you to let go of and maybe holding you back from a relationship?
I would say the fact that when you're in a relationship and you feel like this is it, like this is the one, like everything is great. We're gonna get married one day. I'm gonna have the family that I want one day. And then for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. And it's tough to let that fear go and to be able to give your all into a relationship with knowing that it could possibly not work out at the end and you could possibly waste more time. So having that happen to me a couple of times and wasting years, I wouldn't say wasting now, but at the time I believe it was wasted years. Now I look at it as a learning experience, but that fear of investing your all into something and then potentially not work out in the end after years of being in it, it's a scary thing, but you'll never find your person unless you let go of that fear and give somebody your all. So yeah, that'd be my answer.
Yeah. I could go deeper into that, but I really could. I can continue a conversation if I really wanted to.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the number one physical quality you like in a woman? Yeah.
Physical? I would say, me personally, and I'm not lying, but me personally, it would have to be eyes. And this is why I say that. I'm not trying to be all like a safe answer and say something sweet, because it could be any type of way. Like, I just feel like eye contact gets me. If a girl has pretty eyes and she looks at me or whatever, like, I feel like eyes are what attracts me physically. And then yeah, so my answer would be eyes for sure.
So it's the eyes, huh?
Yeah, I would say eyes for me, and that's for like all aspects. Like the eye contact is what gets me going. Beautiful eyes makes me just attracted to a woman. It's just, for me, it's all about eyes for sure.
How do I say it? What's one characteristic trait you like in a woman? You ain't gotta lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
Run me my uncensored answer. I would say, as far as characteristic, this will more so be characteristics, but just overall like a nurturing woman. And what I mean by that is you don't have to bow down to me or what I say goes. And I feel like the word nurturing has this bad rap for it. But what I mean by that is, if me as a man, if I'm giving you everything that you're looking for, and you're fulfilled, you feel beautiful, you feel respected, you feel appreciated, you feel like you're the most beautiful girl in the world. Like, if I'm doing my job in the relationship as a man, I feel like nurturing characteristics come natural. But my favorite characteristic from a woman is definitely a nurturing woman, somebody that cares if I ate today, and if I have a headache, she knows what medicine I should take, and if I'm sick, she makes me soup, and just a woman that just cares for you. And I'm a grown ass man during the day, but if I can come home to my woman and feel like a big baby, I'm good. And I'm dramatic as hell when I'm sick, so I could have a cough and I'll act like I'm dying. So I
We
need a
we
girl
kind of
that can also go with that.
we kind of noticed that. Okay, now see this is my friend. Like I'm serious. Like I'm serious. We talk way too much. We'll just leave it at that. But she gets me out of my shell.
I love that. That's dope.
I don't know if it's a good thing though. But what are family values you need in your next relationship, or the other person has to have?
Family values, like if they're family oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I would love for the next girl that I get involved with to have a close relationship with their family. I'm family oriented myself. Like my mom, my dad, my brother, those are my best friends apart from family. So if she's very close with her family, and I can kind of step into that situation and be close with her family as well, and all that good stuff, it'll just that'll be my ideal situation. But at the same time, I am an understanding person, and some people are not close with their family for a reason, and we'll take that as it comes. But you know, being close with your family is important to me.
What are your top 3 icks in women?
If you go out all the time, like if your idea of fun is to go get drunk every single time, then that's an ick. I don't like that. Bad hygiene. Smell good, please. Another ick of mine would be so yeah, bad hygiene, going out all the time. If you're lazy, like I'm a homebody myself, but if you have nothing going on for you and you're just overall just a lazy person, that's gonna eventually just give me the ick about you. I don't like lazy people.
Yeah, for sure. How do I say this? That might step on toes.
Nah, go ahead.
I find it astronomically, like I can't fathom someone. Hold on. Okay, my bad. I can't fathom people who don't have dreams, goals, or aspirations and doesn't do anything to do or to push them further or better their life for themselves.
I agree.
Was that rude? I feel like that was rude.
Nah,
Okay.
heck no. I feel the same way.
See, part of me, like I'm a blunt person and I'll care, but I won't care.
Yeah, I'm unapologetically me at all times.
Appreciate that and notice that. I only wish for people to be able to experience that for themselves, because the
For sure.
unmatched journey would be one of the most beautiful things, especially for each
Definitely.
individual. Man, dream job.
My dream job?
Mhm.
If I could let go of everything that I have going on and just travel the world with the Concrete Rose projects and just doing my part to change the world in a better way and helping as many kids as possible. And my only thing that I do is Concrete Rose project, and I'm just traveling to help the world. That would be like my dream job for sure.
You know what? I see that already happening for you.
I love that. Appreciate that.
Of course. And the reason why I say this is just because you are so sure of yourself and your mission, and it's just like a vision that one, you probably can see for yourself too, and then other people can see it for you. So it's already a done deal. Like the more clearly you grind, you're gonna get to where you need to be and where you want to be.
Appreciate you.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years. So right now we're on project 001 of the Concrete Rose project. I see I see us being on like project 100 something. And this project, we're traveling to like villages and helping whole villages, and the documentary is just going crazy, and people around the world are tuned in. And instead of helping and sponsoring a few families, we're helping whole villages, and all these kids are coming out and they're all happy, and they got brand new clothes and clean water and food and opportunity. And the documentary becomes like a TV show that people tune into every week, and millions of viewers on TikTok. In 5 years, I have over a million followers, and be spreading the message in a more impactful way through my TikTok. And on the Twitch that I just started, I'll have tens of thousands of subscribers, and just entertaining and having a community on the Twitch side of things as well. And so everything that I'm doing now, but with some sauce on it.
What is the race you date the most?
I wonder who asked that one. Anyway,
I don't even know.
I've had 2 real relationships, like 2 long-term relationships. The rest of them were just like high school little things, middle school little things. The 2 real relationships that I've been in, one girl was white and one girl was mixed with white and Mexican. But yeah, I don't go for like a particular race.
Okay.
I don't discriminate.
Have you ever had a crush on any of your supporters?
I'm gonna go ahead and pass that question.
What do you think hurts more, ending a relationship or a situationship?
Well, I'm not. I would say ending a relationship for sure, because the difference between a relationship and a situationship is the relationship is established and it's something, and there's a lot of feelings involved. There's a lot of time involved, and it's serious. And if it's a serious relationship, you guys had a future plan together and all that stuff. Situationship is kind of messy and figuring things out. So ending a relationship would for sure be harder, in my opinion.
I agree with you there, for sure. Does the amount of kids a woman has matter to a man?
I'm gonna give it to y'all real. Yes, it does. Coming from a man's perspective, I believe that it does. Not for every man, but I would say in general, yes, it does. But for me in particular, I feel like I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings that might be watching this. But if a woman comes into my life and she has kids, there's certain things that I'm gonna look for. There's certain things that I'm gonna look for me to get to a point where I'm okay with still continuing a relationship with you, and that's a few things. One of them is being, how many fathers are there? And I'm not judging, but I'm talking about me in particular right now. Like, this is what I'm cool with and what I'm not cool with for me. If there's multiple baby fathers, I'm not going to entertain it. Because I don't want to be just another baby father. Like, if you have kids and your situation's right, I want to step in and treat those kids like they're mine if it gets there, and have our own. If there's multiple baby fathers, that's a red flag for me. If you're very mature, both parties are very mature about the co-parenting situation, that's a green flag for me. If it's messy and like we're hanging out and you're like, my baby daddy's blowing up my phone and then wondering where I'm at, like, that's a no-go for me. But yeah, certain things. But to answer that, I was just kind of going off. To answer the question, how many kids a woman has doesn't matter to a man. Just from a man's perspective, I would say the short answer is yes, it does.
That was a really good question that Brian asked, though. How many baby daddies is the question?
For me personally, and I'm gonna just be blunt, I'm just speaking for me. If there's more than one, I'm out the picture. I'm just gonna keep it real. If you have more than one, if you have more than one baby's father, like if you have more than one person that you lay down and had a child with and went through those 9 months with and raised them with, if there's more than one, yeah, I wouldn't be in the picture or entertain that whatsoever, just to be honest.
I get that. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, to go with Deja, I'm a say my little piece. I have 5. I'm comparing this because this person was kind of like, they became the father that I never had. My real dad, he's titled as a sperm donor because I don't no conversation with him at all.
Sure.
But so I have 4 other siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a boy and a girl, boy and a girl, boy and a girl. Each set we have different dads, and there's 3 different dads.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I understand why a man wouldn't want to take on those other kids. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how do I say it? At what point? Because then again, there's other men who wouldn't care or who'd be
Yeah, for
okay with
sure.
it.
For sure. I feel like everyone has their own set of boundaries. Everyone is their own individual and they have their own set of boundaries. There's a lot of men out here that are good men that don't mind
Yeah.
stepping up to the plate and hey, I'm gonna step in as the man that should have been here and take care of what I need to take care of. And hats off to those men. Like those are good men as well. I feel like if I have a different perspective than the next man, that doesn't make either of us right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just
No,
something
for
that
sure.
I what I want in my life and what I don't want in my life. But there's men out here that will definitely step up to the plate and those are good men as well.
Hopefully, we all find one of them. I'm just saying. Brian said it. Pippin ain't easy.
Hopefully Brian can find a good man soon.
Pose. I'm out of that question. Okay.
What the hell?
So if the girl is a good mom but has 2 baby dads, you won't look at her because dude dipped out on her?
No. So I'm like I'm speaking in general right now. But if there was a girl that came into my life that's very mature and she has her stuff together and she takes care of her kids and she's an independent woman, and if there is co-parenting involved, they're very responsible, mature about it, and it's kind of like a as it comes basis. Like if you give me the impression that you are worth it because the person that I'm going to end up with is the person that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life type thing, then I might consider it. But just surface level, in general speaking, like, yeah, I probably wouldn't step into that situation. But if the woman is like, yeah, it's going to be the one, like for sure, she checks all the boxes, we're going to be together for life. And, you know, I might be able to get myself into a position to look past that. But I've never been in a situation like that before. So it's kind of like, I don't really talk too much about something I don't know about. So if it does come up one day, I'll see how I'd handle it.
Yeah, situational based. Correct, Brian. 2 baby
Yeah, I
dads
agree.
is too much. Okay, Deja, calm the fuck down. Just for this. Okay. I love you, but this kind of goes in a way. So you can say either pass over this one, okay? Have you wondered what things would be like if you were to date a single mom?
The only time I ever wondered that is when I got asked in my TikTok lives how I would feel about it. That's the only time that it crossed my mind. It's never crossed my mind before that. Not to say that I was always against it, but it was just nothing I ever thought of. It was kind of like everything when it comes to relationships and the type of person that I'm going to be with next. It's all situational based, like somebody said in the chat. If the person I met and I fall in love with happens to have kids, like I would take it from there and figure it out. If they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. Whatever their situation is. But if that's the woman for me, then I'm gonna make it happen, you know. But before getting asked about it is something that I never really took the time to think about. No.
How would you reassure a woman that has been through physical, emotional, and mental abuse that you're genuinely interested in her?
Patience for sure. I feel like if a woman if a woman has been through those types of situations, she's gonna have a lot of walls up and a lot of guards. If she's the one for you as a man, I feel like you should be patient with that woman and be as sweet and gentle as possible and be there for her as much as possible mentally, and just take care of her and make her feel like she's beautiful, make her feel like you're not there for one reason, and make her feel like she's appreciated, make her feel loved. Do all of those things and then be patient. At some point through time, she's going to develop that trust, and those walls are going to come down. But I would advise against getting mad at her for having her guard up, and understand it because she's been through a lot. So just be patient and treat her like how you would, how you're supposed to.
I really love that answer. To coincide with that, ladies, I would say it's vice versa too, because you just don't know what anybody's been through and whether they're ready to talk about it or even not with you.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but do you think it's your job to go through the motions if she hasn't yet herself? I'm gonna just say no. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's not my job. No, I'm not obligated to do so. But if a situational based, again, if I just happen to love this woman and that's what comes with her, then that's what comes with it. But not my job. No.
Yeah. And ladies, same thing. Same exact thing. Don't pour into somebody that not wanting to change. Go through the change to grow and better themselves. Do not waste that time. Do not, please, I'm gonna beg you, just do not do that.
For sure.
Who was your idol growing up?
I would so follow me, y'all. So, like I said, I come from not the ideal situation at home when I was growing up. So I didn't really have like a positive idol or a positive person in my life to be like, I wanna be like that person. I would say that I had the wrong idol or the wrong person that I was trying to follow their footsteps. And at that was my brother. Now he is my idol in a positive way. Like I strive to be as mentally strong as that man. Like he's been through what nobody here watching or listening, whatever, can even imagine. And that's a fact. And he's still himself. So I do have a positive idol now, but growing up, he was the wrong idol for me because he was going down the wrong path and I was following in his footsteps. I was next up to join the gang. I was next up to sell what we were selling. I was next up to do some things I won't get into too much, but I was following his footsteps because that's what I was around. And again, that's the whole point of Concrete Rose Project is to step in and say, hey, you could break the cycle. I broke that cycle my damn self. But now my brother's a great person, changed his ways for sure, stepped away from all that stuff years ago, like 10 years ago. And he's still my brother. And I feel like I have to say this because every time I talk about him, I don't want anybody to look at him in a certain light. So I got to say this. If you ever watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith on that TV show is my brother to a T. Like as goofy as he is in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as funny as he is, life of the party, making everyone laugh, passionate, all that stuff. That's if you want to know how my brother moves and how he acts, that's my brother to a T. Watch that TV show. He was just around the wrong people.
It's pretty cool hearing you. That's the first time I've heard you talk about your brother, if I'm honest. I know you've mentioned him in the lives other times, but thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
I think I'm going to skip over this one, but someone asked, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
And a little more sauce than 5.
Oh.
Just keep adding the sauce, you feel me?
Okay. Mad respect. What was your first job ever?
I was a busboy at a local cafe, and I worked there for about 4 days. And I cleaned a couple tables, got my first check, and said, we made it. I had like $100 as a little kid, and I was like, damn, I can quit now. I can retire. Took that $100, bought a couple toys, bought a couple WWF action figures and stuff, did my thing, and ran out of the money. And I got another job. But yeah, so first ever job was a busboy.
Yeah, I remember those days. This one, okay. Top or bottom?
Pause. Huh?
Someone asked top or bottom. That's why I took a pause. Brian said,
who cares what Brian said? Let me emphasize that. Are we okay? I'll answer this because my goal was to be an open book on your podcast.
Okay.
we are talking about me being with a woman right now. Okay? The top or bottom just gives me sus vibes, that question. So I want to emphasize that I'm talking about a woman. Top. Next question.
Wait a minute.
I just wanted to be an open book on your podcast.
I appreciate you. For real, for real. How old were you when you had your first crush, and do you remember her name?
Yeah. I was 12 and her name was Brianna, and she lived on my block when I was growing up. And I used to go to this dance that everybody had, that we had in the city. Every weekend there was this dance. We went to the dance one time, and that was when I had my first kiss. And it was so awkward because we were like slow dancing, and everyone's like, they knew it was about to happen for our first time, and everyone's around like, just kiss her, do it, kiss her, do it. So it was one of those things where it's just like, you like go back, whatever. So yeah, I was 12 years old. I think I was in like 6th grade or something, and it was a girl named Brianna, and yeah, first crush.
I can totally see that happening. How old? Have you ever had a bad first kiss experience with anybody?
Hell yeah.
Spill the tea.
Yeah, I did. There's this girl, and she was like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I'm a very passionate person. And I don't know if anybody can relate, but she would like, instead of like getting into it, she'd be like peck, 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 peck. That threw me off. Like, that was my first experience where I was like, before that, I was like, I don't even know what a bad kisser is. And then I had that, and I was like, this is a bad kisser. And yeah, so yeah, for sure.
How old were you when you went on your first date? Do you remember how it went and what you guys did?
I don't know if this would be considered a date, but I consider it my first ever date. Because I don't believe a date has to be like where somebody's paying for the experience. I just feel like it's an experience. So my first ever date was, I think I was like 13. And this girl that I was talking to from school randomly came to my house and knocked on my door. And my mom answered, and she asked if Russell can come outside. And I came outside, and it was raining, and we're in the street jumping in the puddles and just having fun in the rain. And that was my first, I like to say that was my first date, because it was just like, it was just two people that liked each other, had crushes on each other, experiencing something together. So that's my definition of a date. And yeah, we're just jumping in rain puddles.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah, I would do that today.
Shimmy too, if it rained.
Yeah.
Have you ever cheated on anyone? And someone put, don't lie, puto. So
No, I wouldn't lie, because for one, that would be my past, and I'm a different person today. But no, I never cheated. I never cheated, and I don't think I've ever been cheated on. But I had a gut feeling one time that I was cheated on. But me personally, no, I never cheated.
now you can pass over this one. Were you nervous for the first time? J. Cole style. Someone said you got to know the reference.
I do know the reference to referencing, and I ain't never did this before. Was I nervous my first time? No, I wasn't. I mean, I was. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. So I'm not gonna get into the story of, how it happened or not like that, but you're that young, and it's like you don't know where shit goes and how shit works and shit. So I was like, I'm gonna just wing it. Fuck it. And then yeah, it was like super, super awkward and weird. And the scenery, like where we were and everything, was just super. Yeah, that's a story that I got, and it's hilarious. But yeah, I was super nervous. Definitely, I was nervous.
Are you sure? Because at first you said no, you weren't, and you were so confident in that.
Yeah, because at first I'm thinking like I was more like excited than nervous, but then when I go back and think about it, it's like you don't really know what you're doing, and for your like first time, you just want to feel like you did a good job when it's your first ever time. And I remember like being nervous about that and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'll say overall I was nervous. For sure. I think Brian might have been there. Brian, it was at a birthday party, if you remember.
Interesting. Okay. The scenery. Whoa. Brian took Russ's virginity?
What? Hell nah. Hell nah. He just happened to be at the party.
Bree said, got it. So it wasn't in a bed.
No.
If it's both your first time, nothing is good. True.
I was just more happy to say like I did it. Other than it like worrying about how it went and all that stuff. I was just happy to say like, yeah, I did it, boys. Like it was just just like a proud moment.
Got to see it through, my boy. I thought it was in the basement that one day. That's what Brian said.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What you talking about, Willis? And they're like, swimwear, what the fuck you mean? Have you ever had a pregnancy scare? Well, not the person you were with. Yeah, I should ask that, right?
No, I've had, not to get graphic, but I've had like some times where I was with somebody and like in a relationship or whatever, and they're saying like they were late on their time of the month or something like that, and then they'd end up getting it. And so like I never had like no serious like we gotta go get a test or anything like that, because I'm super safe. I'll just keep it at that. I'm super safe. I've never risked it for the biscuit. I always have that in the back of my head. I don't care how the moment is, whatever. I'm always super safe, because if I do have a child, if I do bring into a child into this life, I want it to be a conscious decision.
Like an on purpose thing. Well, not on an intentional thing, for better terms.
For sure.
Now, I don't know if I wanted to ask this one because you told me to use common sense.
You could ask it and I'll just say pass if I'm not comfortable with things.
Okay. Ever took one for the team in a 2-man mission? It means when you and your boy go see a girl and the friend that she got ain't your type, but you'll take one for the team.
Nah.
No.
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay. At home, a girl to your parents. If so, did your parents like any of your exes?
Did they like them, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. So my most recent ex, my mom didn't like, and she never liked her. And mama knows, right? But I was trying to look past that. And she would try to pretend that she did like her just out of respect for me. Like she would just be nice to her and cordial and, you know, welcoming and all that stuff. But you could tell by she never came out and told me I don't like her. She would just talk to me like, how's everything going? Like, you know, oh, she's not coming around again. She's not here again. Oh, like she would just have these. And I know my mom, so I know she didn't like her. She just didn't want me. She didn't want to tell me. And my ex before that, my mom did like. My mom did like, because she was more so like, instead of going to hang out in your room, let's go out in the living room and watch a movie with your mom and dad. And like I look for that same thing that she had, which obviously didn't work out for a reason. There was other things that I didn't like that overlooked those good things, but I want that same thing. I want that again. Like I want you to take an initiative and not be like nervous or shy around my mom and dad. Be like, let's go watch a movie with them, and we all have a show that we all watch together and tune in. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Boxers or boxer brief?
What the hell y'all on? I wear briefs. But I wear briefs.
You were about to go deep dive in that.
Yeah, because there's this like one brand that I like because it's like this like breathable type, whatever, but
whatever.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, briefs.
Caitlin didn't like her either. She was taking notes, the mental notes. We don't like her either. Now we speaking on it. Were you nervous introducing your exes to your parents?
I mean, I had like I wouldn't say nervous. I would just say like in my head, I'd say I hope this goes good. But nah, not nervous, because if I had like a mom and dad that were, I don't know, like not as welcoming and sweet as my mom and dad, I would be nervous, because I would be like, I hope they act right. But as soon as I introduce a girl to my mom, she's going to be like, we're going to be besties. You hungry? Let's go in the kitchen. Da, da, da. And my dad's just sitting there like, you watch football? Like, let's just watch football. So like they're instantly like, if you rock with my son, and I know we raised my son right, so he's only going to bring women around that he they'll welcome in with open arms. You're instantly a part of the family for sure. So I'm not nervous now.
Yeah. I like that. That wraps up the questions that the audience or people submitted. How do you know you found the one? Like, what is going to be the moment, or like the yes?
Yeah, my answer to that would be that there's no aha moment. I feel like there could be somebody in your life that has a lot of good qualities and they check all those boxes for you. But there's going to be a feeling inside you that neither me nor you can put in words, to where like, for a fact you would take a bullet for this person. For a fact that you genuinely want to see this person happy and you want the best for, like, there's just going to be like this anybody could have certain qualities, and you might get lucky and find somebody that checks all those boxes for you. But until you feel it in your heart, like once you get past that, oh, this person's new and exciting, like, let me try this. Once you get past that and you're in like the real relationship, I feel like it'll just be a feeling that you have that nobody on this earth can put it in words. And because when I don't take the term the one lightly, I feel like that's like really your life partner going through this whole game of life together until we're old and God calls us home. It's a very serious thing. So I feel like it's a feeling that like you
There's
feel
no words. We're at home.
They're at home, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be back in like a few minutes.
For sure.
And then you can take the time to do what you want to do, and the chat can chat.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'll be back.
Fuck you, Oprah. You fucking bitch. Oh.
Why you do that?
Nah, I just...
No, bye.
Fuck is my car? This ain't motherfucking water. This that Grey Goose, baby. Y'all ever see that video? La bamba, da 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 da. Grey Goose making lows. Promise to stay away from your girl, but I can't promise you. So what happened in the basement? I don't know what you're talking about, cuz. Drinking it like it's full is crazy. Yeah, I know. It got about a sip in it. I'ma sip on it. Backwash. Probably you want to drink? Basement Russ, you know damn well what she talking about. Brian, I know what you're talking about, but where's the JCD when you need it? Nasty boy. You a nasty gal. Bumbleclock. Speaking like Diddy? What the hell you talking about? It's true religion in or out, research purposes. My opinion, out. I'm gonna go get breakfast when this is over. Who wanna come? I'm hungry too. Low key. Order me a motherfucking sausage McMuffin, no egg. Sausage and cheese McMuffin, no egg. I love breakfast for dinner. That's like my favorite. So I think it's fair to say the words. Fuck. Russ. Fuck. Fucking McMuffin. That does that ring too. Not McDonald's. I forgot you were bougie.
What's happening?
Everyone's talking about getting breakfast.
I agree with Laura.
What Laura say? A Pepsi bottle? Coca-Cola glass?
If you had to choose one food to eat for the rest of your life, but it would give you horrible gas, what would it be?
Pizza. The hell? Y'all know me. Pizza, and I don't care if it gives me gas or not. I don't care. It tastes so good, and I'm eating pizza nonstop. I could eat it every day, and whatever comes with it, comes with it. I'm a grown-ass man. I'll take it to the chin. Pizza.
If you were a stripper, what would your stage name be, and what song would you perform to?
My name would be Thrusty Rusty, or Russ Rod. And my song that I perform to would be I don't know, I'd have to think about the song, but it would be from WWF, if you know you. No. It was this one guy's song, his theme song, and it was like, how did it go? I forget how it went, but I would pick that song. It's hilarious. But yeah, Thrusty Rusty or Russ Rod would be my name. But then your song would be from a WWF. Yeah, because he was like, they think I'm cute. They know I'm sexy. Dude, I got the. That was the song. So yeah. Interesting. Nice selection though. I mean, you know, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it big.
Maybe lock them doors and
I just go, it's all quiet. Baby, lock them, and I just pop out. That'd be fine. Rusty, Rusty.
That was a good one, Laura. If you had to fart loudly in front of someone important, how would you try to play it off?
Man, I guess like I would fake sneeze. Cause like coughing could go only be so loud, but like sneeze, I could be like chew, and that's just like how I sneeze, you know. Maybe I'll just fake a loud ass sneeze.
But what if the fart is louder than your actual sneeze or your fake ass sneeze? Like it's loud.
Then I'm fucked. I feel like my first instinct would be to get up and to leave the vicinity, but you know, things happen. I would just try to sneeze, I guess.
What would it be if you could ask Nala one question and get an answer?
That's my baby now. I gotta think now. If I could have one question to Nala and I get an answer, it would be, what can I do to make sure you enjoy your life? And Nala would be like, just take me outside, let me play, let me do this, let me do that. And I would do that every day.
You would ask that. You would you would ask something like that to her.
Facts. That's my baby. And I feel like their whole life is only a period of our life. So those moments for a dog or they're everything. So I want to make the most out of her life. So I take her outside. I run around with her, make sure she gets her workouts in. If she does good, I give her a treat. She has like 50 toys. Just yeah, I don't know. That's my dog.
That's your dog.
Hmm.
How has this is just off the cuff? How has being a pet parent changed you in this current time?
It kind of like earlier when I was talking about a flaw that I have being not taking any breaks. I think it forces me to take a break because I have a responsibility now to look after her. So when I do have to do that, it's kind of like me taking a break from everything else. I'm not on stream. I'm not doing what I'm doing all day, every day. It's like I'm just having fun or chilling with my dog. And that kind of forces me to be in a position because that's my responsibility and I love to do it. So it kind of forces me to take those needed breaks.
I was thinking that the other day because I was just looking at my dog and I was just like, huh. Because when I'm like, take a moment, he's there, I'm there, we just chilling. And I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe that's the reason.
100%. I
Because
agree.
when it comes to things, I'm very curious and I'll always ask why. What's the most inappropriate thing you've ever laughed at in public?
My group of friends when I was growing up weren't the best. And they would ride around in cars and look for couples. I don't condone this. I just so happen to be in the car. And they would find couples and they'd like a girl and a guy walking together holding hands and somebody would yell out the car like, fuck her, I did. And we were super young. So now that wouldn't be funny, but back in the day as a kid, it was hilarious. And we would look back in the rearview mirror and like the guy would like be talking to her like as if like we would just start some shit and pull off. But yeah, I'm a grown ass man now and I don't condone.
You just partake. You partook.
Partook, yeah.
Mm, okay. What's the craziest thing you've done while drunk and that you'll never live down?
Hmm. Craziest thing I did that I'll never live down. I don't know about living that I'll never live down, but something that I'll never forget is I got a buddy of mine that's a DJ, and every time I go out with him, I'm like up on stage and I'm dancing and all that stuff, and it's just a good time. And people there like they know me, and um, so they're all like hype and stuff. And one day they're all like pushing me to stage dive, and I would never do that, but the water was talking, and I stepped back and I ran full speed and I dove in that crowd and they caught me and I was stage diving. I was crowd surfing for a little bit, just rapping I think it was like some T Grizzly. So I'm just being carried by people, and I'm like, Joy Road, bitch, what the fuck? I'm just having a good ass time. So I'll never forget that. Good times.
You don't say, huh?
Mhm.
What have you done that you'd never admit to in public, but you'll share here?
Something I've done that I'll never admit to the public, but I'll share here.
Yes.
One time when I was a kid, and this is some like serial killer type shit, so please don't judge me. So I was a kid and there was this fly in my house, like one of them big ones that make all the noise and smack against your window. And I was pissed about it. I don't know why. So as a kid, I caught it with a cup, and I was so mad that I put the fly in the microwave. I don't know why. I swear to God, I did. And he didn't fuck with me after that.
Now we know why you have
I,
Jason on timeout.
I'll never admit that to the public, but I admitted it here.
Well, thank you for admitting it. I used to spit on ants to drown them. He said, take that.
That's funny.
I would have drowned it in bleach. So on the next episode of Undiagnosed Serial Killer.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you took his wings off, not fry him. Damn.
Or sometimes I'd catch the fireflies, the ones that light up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd like whip them on the ground because they'd make the ground glow.
Okay.
That's my past. Ryan knows.
What's the riskiest or most daring thing you've ever done for love or lust?
Riskiest thing I've ever done. To be honest, I don't feel like there's anything that I've done like risky for love. Like I said, I've only been in 2 different relationships. Yeah, during those 2 relationships, I don't believe that I've done anything risky per se. But yeah, I'm trying to think of something. But no, I don't think I've ever done anything risky, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the most risky thing that I did was like try to put myself out there like on a romantic tip, and I would take a risk in trying something new and trying to be more romantic and planning dates and stuff like that. But that's just me trying to be a good boyfriend. I wouldn't say that that's like risky or anything.
On a grander scheme, to find a true, genuine kind of like love is the risk because you could just all crumble at any given point.
That's true.
So there's risk to all of it, really. What is the most scandalous DM or message you've ever sent or received?
Can you define scandalous for me? Or like, what do y'all mean by scandalous?
Give me 2.5 seconds. Google will look up the word scandalous. Scandalous. Talking to myself. Causing a that'll make sense. Disgracefully bad, typically a result of someone's negligence or irresponsibility. Like because we all know, right, that you have people coming to you, whether it's through advice, through DMs or not. Is there anything that stuck out to you that was like, whoa, pause, hold up, that I'm no block kind of thing?
Yeah, every time a girl just like doesn't even say hi or ask a question or anything like that, they just like the first thing they ever do to reach out to me is send like a naked picture or something weird. I block them instantly.
What I would too. Would
Shout
you
out
say,
my dog Shaylin.
boy, when you typed that name earlier, that literally threw me.
Thought I messaged you. But yeah, most scandalous like DMs and stuff is just girls like, it doesn't happen often, but randomly girls would just, I got people asking like advice. I got people trying to, whether it's like shoot their shot in the DMs or something. I just keep them all in the message requests. I don't entertain it. But if there's but the most scandalous or like, whoa, I gotta block this person and actually do something about it is some people just have no self-respect and they just throw themselves at you.
So let's talk about Miss, what was her face? Shaylin?
Oh yeah, my dog.
What was your reaction to, how do I say this? To finding out about that person, like truly finding out.
So I always knew if you if you put content out on social media, like if you want to grow a platform on social media, you have to accept what comes with it. And what comes with it is you knowing and understanding that there are weird ass people in the world of the internet. People that have all the time on their hands and they get into everyone's business and they it's just like, don't you have something to, like, go outside, like go see the sun. So a lot of people have so much time on their hands and they live for drama and they live for tricking people and scamming and all this stuff. So like my first reaction was, I know this type of shit happens. People are weird on the internet. When I started to see my family's names and stuff being brought up, that was more so like my first instinct is I want to find out who you are. If you're a guy, I want to beat your ass myself. And if you're a girl, I want to get my cousin to beat your ass because this is like not funny at this point. But those people behind the screen are always going to remain behind the screen. So you got to kind of not get mad or not let yourself get out of character. Just like the dude on the live the other day, just practicing, just not getting out of your character. But yeah, my reaction ultimately was just like, this is mad weird. This is a learning experience. How am I going to handle these types of situations going forward? I took some precautions and changed my name a bit, and I don't really answer the where you froms anymore and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, once I grow and become bigger, the information is going to be out there, and I'm going to have to I'm learning now how to deal with it before it gets worse. So it was a learning experience for sure. I just didn't want my community. One of my first reactions was I didn't want my community to believe this because she was faking screenshots as well, like of me texting her and stuff. Like she would cut off like the name and the number. So it was like clearly a fake screenshot, but it was like, baby, you know I had to kick you. It's drama. I love you. I got a future planned out for us. And she would respond, I know, baby. And then I responded with the rose emoji. Like I was afraid she was gonna post this and people believed her. But then I had screenshots of her saying like can I have your number and stuff after that, so it wouldn't make sense of you asking for my number if we're texting, so to speak. So I knew I had proof to back it up, but I just didn't want my community to believe this crazy ass.
No, what I've been told, the links that person, and hearing from you, the links that person would do or anybody would do is astronomically out of this world. I don't even know how to fathom. Like, why would you? Like, why?
That's my question. Why? Like what do you get out of doing this? Like why? And yeah, like I just that's my question is why. Like some things in life, how people move and things that they do, it's like I can't even begin to try to wrap my head around why. Like what do you get out of it? And I was not caring too much about it, but then she was like, how's your brother been? And that was like the last straw before I took it to a level I didn't want to take it. So I blocked her and banned her from the Discord and stuff like that. But um yeah, I don't play about that.
Are you? Is a part of you still curious as to who it is?
100%, yeah. I'm curious for sure. Cause I don't know if it's somebody that I know. I don't know if it's somebody, it could be somebody that's in the chat or always part of the or pretending to be part of the community and just getting information on me. There it could be a random that just looked my name up or something. Like it could be anybody. So I'm curious, yes, but I just don't know.
But isn't that this like the scary part of it? And if you don't know, then you're just damn.
Yeah, there is a scary part of it just because that person could still be around. Like that person could be, not that I'm accusing anybody, but they could be in the Discord right now as somebody else. They could be in the lives right now as somebody else. and they could have just decided to mess with me and create another account and just mess with me for a little bit. And the people that are in the community know the most about me, and or it could have been random because my first and last name was my username. They could have just looked some things up and found out some things about me. Like, I'm curious to know who it was, but I'm more so just like hoping that that person is still not around saying, "What's up, Russ? When you going live today?" and being cool to me. And they were Shaylin the whole time. Like, I don't know. I have no idea.
I hope that nothing else like it occurs, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, but we'll see.
Yeah. What is the wildest thing you've done to get someone's attention, and did it work?
This might sound like a cliche answer or something, but I've literally never been the one that like craves attention or wants attention. I have social anxiety. If anything, I don't want attention. If I see a girl I'm attracted to, I don't have the guts to go up to her and talk to her. So I've never done anything to get anybody's attention at all. I'm more so like, how can I not get anybody's attention and play my role in the background here? That's kind of how I've always been.
And kind of like be left alone type of situation.
I mean, I don't. If I'm around my group of friends, like Brian can vouch, we're goofy, we're laughing, I'm comfortable. But if I'm around other people that I just now met, I'm quiet, I'm shy. It has to be like energy based. I have to be comfortable around you. And yeah, so I feel like I don't start the conversation, but if it's brought to me, like I'll talk to people. So I'm not like avoiding people by any means, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to speak unless spoken to, I guess.
I feel that 100%. Also, I feel like I think you said this in the past, but you're an observer before anything.
Yeah, I always peep my environment, peep the situation. And if I see somebody that's kind of doing what I'm doing and kicking back, just chilling, like that's probably going to be the one that I connect with. I'm going to go kick with him or her, whoever.
Yeah. Have you ever ghosted someone? And if so, why?
I'm not proud of it, but yeah, I've ghosted before. And the reason being was, in my past, while I was on like the self-love journey and all that stuff, like if you interrupted that at all, I just ghosted you. Not saying that that's right or wrong, but because now I believe that people at least deserve communication, that you're not no longer going to be there or whatever. But I'm not perfect, and at that time I was, yeah, if you disrupted my peace of mind at all, or if you gave me a sign that you're not who you claimed you were, or you show me something that, like a side of you that I don't like or I want in my life, then I've ghosted before, yeah.
Have you ever been ghosted?
Nah, not that I could remember, but no, I don't think I've ever been ghosted.
Have you ever stalked an ex on social media? Be honest. And how far down did you scroll?
Have I ever stalked an ex? There's been times where in my past, this was my first ex, so this is like this was years and years ago, like 10 years ago or something. But yeah, I found myself like on their social media page, and just because I was hurt that it didn't work out and stuff. And I don't know what that would have done for me. The older me would tell them to block them and all that stuff. Like that's how I would handle it now. But back then I would just like go and like check in on them kind of, I guess, and scroll for like a minute and then realize that I'm hurting myself even more. So then I would get off. But now I would never stalk an ex. As soon as you're an ex, you're blocked.
For real. Did you end both relationships or mutually ended?
The first one was more so like mutual. Like we're kind of both saying like it was handled in a mature way. Like we're both saying like, whatever happens down the road is meant to happen if we cross paths again. But I'm headed in this direction with my life. You're headed in that direction with yours. And the other person's like, yeah, I understand. And I feel the same way. No bad blood. Like it was a very mature breakup. And then the second one was me walking away and having to deal with like, no, don't go. And that hurt me a lot because I didn't want to hurt anybody else, but I had to do it. I had to do it.
Okay, what's the most toxic thing you've done in a relationship?
Most toxic thing that I've done? I don't know. It's tough. I feel like I've always been the mature one in a relationship. Like, I feel like I'm always with the immature one. Like I've always just been, I've always had this positive, or I've always had this mature mindset when it comes to relationships. And I credit that to my mom for teaching me the lessons that she taught me. I've never really done anything toxic. As you guys see me, is how I am in a relationship. Like, I can be goofy, I can be serious. The way that I talk about communication, that's how I talk at that volume and everything. Like, I'm just very laid back. I don't have the energy, nor do I don't step out of character for nobody. I really can say that I don't think I've ever done anything that I would consider toxic.
Thank you for elaborating on that.
Of course.
For the questions, actually. You did so good.
Cool.
You've done so well this whole entire time.
Thank you.
Of course.
This is my first ever podcast. I appreciate you. Shout out to Monique for having me on the podcast. Thank you for everyone that was in the chat and asking questions and just being here and supporting Monique. If you ever need me to do anything to help you, I'm there. Like, no question about it. I'll be here whenever you need me to be here. I simply did this because, for one, I was honored to do my first ever podcast. It was a very cool experience. And I've always wanted to be a guest on a podcast. So you kind of helped me accomplish a goal that I had. And then for two, it was to ultimately support you and what you're doing, because I want to see everyone from the community win as well. So whenever you need me, I'm here for you.
I appreciate you. Before we end it, okay? Let's talk about the nonprofit stuff you got going on for the Halloween stuff. Promote it. Just lay it all out, and how people could possibly help out with that if they're local to you.
For sure. So the Concrete Rose Project, we're breaking it down into separate projects. So every, I would say, month, we're going to tackle a new specific cause. It could be kids going through anxiety, kids going through depression. It could be sex trafficking. It could be whatever the case may be. There's going to be specific causes that we tackle for each project. And this first one in particular is simply the introduction. So it's Concrete Rose Project 001. It's the introduction, and I want to come out swinging. My goal here is to do a Halloween event, but ultimately to help sponsor a few families and tell their story and help them. So that's what we're going to do for the first project, but we are doing a Halloween event. So we're actually working with another nonprofit organization that helps foster kids. So they take donations for clothes and all that stuff, and they sponsor families and kids that are in foster homes. And Concrete Rose Project is stepping up to the plate and collabing with them and providing a whole Halloween event for these foster kids. So they have a lot going on in their life. They moving from foster home to foster home, God forbid, but there's stories that negative things go down in foster homes, and those kids go through a lot, and the last thing they're thinking about is the holidays and their kids. So part of the first project is making Halloween happen for these kids and making them feel like kids. So we're getting those blow up things that you see on people's lawns, and we're going to get like a banner, and there's going to be spots to take pictures and little fun places that they could put their head through and take the picture. There's candy. There's going to be candy. We're sponsoring a few kids to purchase their costume and all that stuff. So we're putting that together. And if anybody wants to help support this movement for the first ever Concrete Rose Project, I just ask that you go to www.concreteroseproject.com and you purchase either a hoodie or a bracelet. 100% of the proceeds goes towards these kids and helps make a change. And I want you guys to all be a part of the first ever project, because this is going to be history. Please mark my words and believe me, this is going to be history. There's going to be, by the time I'm on Project 40, I'm going to look back on Project 1 and look how far we done came. And I'm going to remember each and every individual that helped me with the first ever project. And I did do a GoFundMe, but I took out that GoFundMe because they take out a certain percentage. So there's a Cash App as well. It's just my first name and my last name, # Russ Rodriguez. And if you ever wanted to just shoot over $1, $5, 10, whatever it may be, and you don't have the funds for a hoodie, or you just feel like, it's too expensive, whatever, I understand. If you don't want to get a bracelet, I understand. If you have whatever, there's multiple ways to support. There's also free ways to support to just overall spread the message. And yeah, thank you, Monique, for giving me the platform to talk about it.
Of course. Or the fact that you dropped hoodies.
Yeah, hoodies dropped on the website, on the Concrete Rose Project website. There's hoodies that we put together, me and Steph from the community. Shout out to Steph. None of this would be possible without her. She helped a ton. And these hoodies were talked about for a long time, and they're finally here. And 100%, think of it as, because a lot of people had comments about the price, and I understand. As a regular schmegular dude, I understand that the prices are what they're, they're crazy. But I think about it like this. There's 2 set donations that you can make. You could decide to make a $90 donation and you get a hoodie for your donation. Think about it like that. It's not a clothing brand. You're not purchasing the hoodie, you're donating to the cause, and you for a set price, and you get the hoodie in return for your donation. Or you can cop a bracelet. You're donating a set amount and you get a bracelet just to rep that you supported the cause. Or there's a Cash App and you could donate any amount. The reason why I gave multiple different options to donate is because some people might not have that to spend on a hoodie. And I get that. Shit's expensive nowadays. People might not want to wait for a bracelet, whatever the case is. People might want to shoot over just a couple bucks instead of donating 90. So there's a Cash App. Or if you don't want to support like money wise, you could spread the message for free. So there's multiple ways that you can donate, and don't feel bad if you don't get a hoodie. But if you do, from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely appreciate you, because you are part of the community that's making the first ever project come true. And from the bottom of my heart, I can't even put it in words how much I appreciate it.
Beautifully done. Where can people find you on socials?
So TikTok would be at Ayo It's Russ. That's a new name. Ayo It's Russ on TikTok. Or I think I'm gonna go with my new Instagram, and not the big one. So that is Russ_Rodriguez 96. So yeah, TikTok and Instagram.
Okay, we're almost done, I promise.
All good.
I want to take this time to say I am, again, grateful for everybody bearing with me, even you, Russ, taking the time to be here right now. Like I said, I don't take it lightly, and I'm not going to play on anybody's time or dime. I'm going to list anybody who you would like to thank and pay this moment of silence to. Like, it could be your family, it could be friends, it could be anybody who sticks out to you, who's going with you on this journey.
You want me to answer that? God. My answer is God, for sure. God has my back throughout this whole journey. God is making it happen. At the end of the day, I could thank the community members, but I've thanked them a million times, and they know how much I appreciate them. But at the end of the day, there wouldn't be a me or a community or a Concrete Rose project or any of this if it wasn't for God. And I just want to give all thanks to God.
Is that?
I appreciate you, Monique.
Of us.
We did it. We did it. Hey, we did it.
Now we can play the Door Explorer song.
I used to root for Swiper.
Wait, what?
I used to root for him.
Why?
I don't know. Everyone hated on him. And I feel like he just had a family that he was trying to feed. And yeah, he was just trying to get his. Get how you live. I used to root for Swiper. I'd be like, he's getting close this time. But then they get him away.
So what made you pick this song to be your goodnight song?
I didn't pick it. Y'all picked it. So I was playing on one of my first ever lives, or I think the first one. I was just playing music. And that happened to be the song that I was just playing as one of the songs that I liked at the time. And everyone started to, it was like it just turned into an outro. And then somebody or a couple people said that we should play this every time that we get off. And so it was y'all idea. And I just went with it. Same with the green and white hearts. This whole brand of the community accidentally happened. Y'all asked me my favorite color. I said green, and people started spamming the green hearts, and then it became a thing, green and white hearts. And then the night song just became a night song because I just so happened to be playing that song when I was saying goodnight. So it just, I don't know, everything happens for a reason, and the whole brand happened organically.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.